I don't think I'm supposed to be here. As soon as I passed by, 2 trucks followed me, so I hid in the woods, and now I'm following the incline to the top of this mountain. I'm gonna get out of here. This town is full of houses, and they're all in good shape, but it's totally empty. Totally empty. I'm at like the second layer of the compound or whatever this place is. I climbed up, and now up here is the dam, and there's a few more work vehicles up here, so I'm just gonna keep her moving, eyes straight forward, and if it's sir, stop, then I'm deaf. That was the riskiest thing I've ever done on this trail, no question. I got covered in all that junk from whatever, the cliffs and stuff, and I made it through without a fall, so that was an answered prayer. There was nothing easy about that. Up a cliff with no ropes. It turns out that the route Gaia had built for me when I said I wanted to avoid the highway was to go straight up this incline railroad track thing, which was a hellacious climb out of the shade. And I got onto a trail near there that just kind of ended. And then I followed the power lines up, and they got really, really steep. So I just clipped my phone to my chest and hit record. I don't know if you can fully appreciate how steep that area was, but I was using both feet and both hands and definitely mumbling prayers the whole time trying to get to the top of that sucker. It was the most dangerous thing that I've done on this hike. It was not easy at all. And it was still a difficult hike, but a straight trail to where I am now. And I just went over there, the Ross Lake Resort, and I picked up my resupply box. I charged up my cell phone. I uploaded this week's video, and now I am heading back across the dam into the North Cascades National Park. My pack is as heavy as it's ever going to be. You can see it's fully loaded. I've got my pad on the outside. It's sitting a little higher, closer to my head, but it's not what you can see, it's what you can feel, and I can really feel the weight. I've had some friends reach out since I posted that last thing, and a few people on Substack too, to send me some really encouraging emails and some text messages, and it helped. It helped a lot. It helped to talk with them. It helped just to finally get back on service and then open up my phone and then see that like people do care, that I'm not just talking into the void, that like nobody's leaving me hanging. You know, they see that stuff and they know that I'm having a hard time and that I've become a little depressed, and they're definitely reaching back out and encouraging me to keep on mission, which is what I'm gonna do. I've got a big climb ahead of me, and I appreciate all you that reached out, supported. And I just have the best community here. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. Not stopping to take a break. I'm just catching my breath, but I'm getting dogged on this climb. My backpack is full of food. That's 7 days of like 4,200 to 4,400 calories each day. And I'm carrying this pig all the way to the top of Devil's Pass, which is just under 11 miles of climbing. So between the weight of the pack and the distance of the climb and the heat of the day, I'm sweating pretty good. It was a beautiful trail to start out the day around Ross Lake on this blown out rock trail. I really enjoyed it. But once I crossed Ruby Creek, I turned at the sign for the Pasayten Wilderness, and it was uphill for the rest of the day. I took a lot more breaks than I usually do because there were a combination of things holding me back. Obviously the pack weight, 7 days worth of food is not light. And then there was the heat. This is the hottest day I've had on trail so far.
and the first day that I've had black flies and mosquitoes. Most of the trail is unmaintained, and I found myself pushing through brush on either side of it all the way up. It's really nasty, so I'm not going to take a picture of it, but my legs are currently covered with some kind of reaction to whatever plants were stabbing through my pants. I got really lightheaded at this log. I can condition to the heat, but it takes me a couple days. Today was the first real scorcher that I've had. I mean, last night I camped in the woods with a down jacket on, and today I was getting rocked by the heat. I was hitting the water bottle hard all day today, and although I barely urinated, I drank probably 5 liters of water.
I'm not going to say exactly what I thought when I stopped for water and realized that I was only a third of the way up when I thought I was almost done. But it rhymed with duck, and I've been getting ducked ever since. It's not easy. It's rough.
Gratitude has been my reliable weapon against depression, and I was so grateful to reach the top of this mountain where there were patches of snow, a cliff that dropped off and gave me a wonderful view of the entire Pasayten Wilderness to the north of me. There was a man camping at the summit here and told me a camp was further up the line if I wanted to keep on walking, which I did. I'm 3 miles under my target for the day, but I forgave that because of how much climbing I had to do in all that heat. Plus, now that I'm at the top, I have a spectacular view. And although the camp is still pretty buggy, I was grateful that I could end the day in such a beautiful place.
Miles.
I walked on 2 totally different trails today. In the morning, I woke up on the Pacific Northwest Trail, which is the one I'm taking all the way to Glacier National Park. It joined up with the Pacific Crest Trail, which goes from Mexico to Canada. The 2 of the trails overlay for a little bit, and I was able to hike on the Pacific Crest Trail to knock out about 15 miles of this one. The trail I started on in the morning was blowdowns, more crap to go through, and the Pacific Crest Trail was this beautiful, breezy, graded, slightly downhill and then slightly uphill highway of a trail that I just banged out and flew through. It's an event when I see someone out here on the Pacific Northwest Trail. But once I got onto this other one, this easy peasy one, there were people everywhere. It's a really popular spot, and people fly through it. It goes all the way down to Mexico. And those easy grades definitely helped me to make my miles today. It was my best day yet. My clothes are getting torn up from going through all these blowdowns, and this morning I had enough silk from spider webs on my face to make a pair of underwear. And once the cruise control mode ended on the Pacific Crest, I was back to my spot. Flowers, 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 more flowers, no people, fresh water, and adventure, of course, because you never know what's coming up in the next mile of this pig.
Put this green branch on there. Get that beautiful smoke all over me. The mosquitoes hate it.
Today's little adventure was I got to kill 4 mosquitoes at the same time. Even if there's not as much adventure in this trail, I could see why people come out here. It's perfect.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm in a beautiful forest that was unfortunately burned to death in 2022. And now all the trees that burned up and died have fallen down and blocked the path. I've been going for 1.3 miles and stopped counting trees at about 150 because what's the point anymore? So I've crossed 150 plus some since I stopped counting.
The burned area continued to this beautiful lake where I was treated to some actually maintained trail and still had to hop logs going forward, but not nearly as many as that area that was completely destroyed. Forest burning is part of their natural cycle, but maintaining the trails after they burn must be a real burden with trees constantly falling down. Actually, some species of pine need the temperature from the wood fire to open up their seeds, and bring in new pine trees. So a forest is reborn by being completely destroyed, and the next generations of pines grow up right next to their dead, burnt parents. And they'll only find themselves reproducing when they too have been burnt to death. But these young pines, even though they grow up right next to the remains of their dead parents, don't stop themselves from producing seeds for the next generation after they've been burned. Trees spend their whole life being planted, and it's only in death that they get to travel. Like these trees down on the Pasayten River. Once they died, they got to take rides on the water. Unlike humans who spend their whole lives traveling around and then once they die, find themselves planted in a graveyard. But until I get planted, I'm gonna pretend like I've got itchy feet all day long and walk as much as I possibly can. I forded the river into an area on the opposite bank that was, well, just as sketchy as the earlier stuff. Take this log, for example. It's very smooth, meaning if I lose my grip on it, I'll slide right off the side of the mountain. You could go over the top of it like I did, or slide your pack through and weasel under like I did when I came to retrieve my camera.
Today was physically brutal, but visually stunning. I had such a beautiful hike today, but definitely had to earn it. The trails, man, it takes a lot of water to hydrate on this trail, but it is, it's nice, you know. The views are just phenomenal. I mean, look at this. To every horizon, there is not a man-made structure that I can see. You know, there's still a little bit of snow up here. You can't see a road. You can't see a power line. Obviously, no cell towers, no cabins, nothing.
The swim felt good, getting all that filth and dirt and sweat out of my hair and off of my body. It's been building up the last 5 days. I promised myself I'd double my mileage today if I could borrow from tomorrow's food because my pants are starting to slide off. I'm eating 4,200 calories a day, but clearly that's not enough to keep my weight. All this walking's making it fall off. I said that I'd borrow tomorrow's food if I did 30 miles today, and I think those extra calories put me over the top. The first couple miles of the day, I was following fresh horse apples and prints until I finally caught up with the crew that was leaving them. They're maintaining the trail as volunteers, and they couldn't be a nicer bunch.
They gave me an apple. The backcountry horsemen who are taking care of this trail, and it needs some work. But they're cutting all these logs by hand, because you're not allowed to have chainsaws. They gave me an apple. Fresh fruit.
Once a forest burns, the root systems are pretty much shot and the trees just start falling down left and right. I did a preemptive strike on this one so that they wouldn't have to clear it later on. And because it's really satisfying to knock down a grown tree with one hand.
Nice.
Because I was committed to walking so far today, I ended up passing through a lot of different areas. Not just the burn, but beyond that. High altitude, passes, rivers. This was one of my favorites. Even though it wasn't the most scenic, it just had these beautiful lakes and you could almost hear voices in the wind. It always sounded like the end of a word and you could never make out the full thing. I didn't stick around to figure it out. I had big miles to do today. Yes, because I was eating that extra food, but also I need to get to the river. I mean, I've been out here for more than a month now. My daily average is really not that sterling, and I need to get moving because if I want to meet my deadline to get on the river, then I really need to put some miles down. Timing on this trip is not everything. Attitude is everything. But timing plays a role. I had to time this trip late enough that I wasn't traversing too much snow, and early enough so that I could get on the river and preferably south of the Dakotas before the frost comes. All day long, I meditated on the mind shift between out here to enjoy myself and traveling. I am enjoying myself. I just need to enjoy myself while I'm walking. I said attitude is everything, and I mean it. Yeah, I'm going to be realistic about my goals, and I'm going to make more miles going forward, but I'm not going to stop enjoying myself. I'm just going to find ways to do it while I walk, so I can make more miles.
Well, there goes my favorite piece of gear. I took a pretty bad fall off of this log, and the tip snapped.
In better news, the mosquitoes have arrived. And I'm not so lonely anymore. I'm always finding myself in their company, and they're very energetic to greet me. But I met a human too.
He's got the same name as me. He used to be a truck driver too, and he lived in Oroville, which is the next town that I'm going to. So I don't know, kind of suggested that I should stay at his house, and he thought it was a great idea. And I don't know if I'm going to spend the night there, but I will definitely need to do laundry and take a shower, charge all my junk, electronics. So yeah, made a friend. How great is that? Well, the first thing I decided to do today was take a wrong turn, and I went an extra mile before I realized it. 1.1 miles, so I walked an extra 2.2. That wasn't forward progress. And I'm pretty dedicated to going as far as I can today. And that extra 2 miles in the morning for nothing. It's a great start to warm up my legs and get me accustomed to long walks, so getting after it. I'm out of the Pasayten Wilderness now, and I'm gonna have to filter every drop of water from here going forward because I'm not in the high country anymore where I'm just drinking snow melt. It was a beautiful, beautiful climb down or walk down, and now I gotta go up a little bit more and then pretty much rolling hills all the way to the road. I ate all my food for today besides dinner, and I'll have that later. And then I borrowed some from tomorrow too, anticipating that I'll be in town in time to eat something once my food runs out for real. I've been craving food this whole time. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could eat an entire pig. Today especially, there's this food called salteñas. They make them for breakfast in Bolivia. And I didn't even remember that fact until today. Like, the taste of one came into my mouth, and then I was like, oh, what was that? And like, now I've just been craving salteñas, which you can't even get in the United States. No, it don't exist here. And like, just that, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. That guy that I met yesterday, it's like, oh yeah, you can come over to the house and whatever. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and fill a bag with food and take it there, and I hope he's got a kitchen, because I'm gonna cook it all up and eat it right in front of him. I might put back 10,000 calories tomorrow, maybe even more. I'm starving.
Shortly after that, a couple pulled up alongside me in their side-by-side and asked if I had anywhere to stay that night. They said I could stay on their property, and I said, maybe. What were you guys thinking of doing for supper? They both laughed, and when I finally got there, they did feed me. The next morning, too, they sent me away with eggs and ham.
Well, that was quite the night. I had a great stay with this couple that lives right on the lake, and they're really good people. They fed me dinner, and they let me shower and do laundry and gave me breakfast too. It was great. And I left their house early this morning after a big plate of eggs and ham. And I'm walking the road to Oroville. Just 20 miles of blacktop. It's pretty warm, so I'm trying to make quick work of it.
I started just after 7 a.m., got there at about 1:30, and the whole time it looked like this. So I didn't take many videos. But once I did get to town, I went to the grocery store, as promised, called that dude, and then he said, no, don't even bother buying any food. Someone just gave me 9 free hamburgers. So we went over there and definitely cooked them up and ate all of them. Along with smoothies, of course, and all the fixings that go with hamburgers. And keep in mind, I just met this guy. And he's already loading me up with food. So we got along really well. I had also mailed myself a pair of shoes to this town. I went to the motel where I'd mailed them, picked them up, and threw out my other pair. They had just over 650 miles on them, and they were ready to be retired. And this is the exact same pair of shoes, but hopefully I can get a little bit more mileage out of them. After a week in the Pasayten Wilderness with very few encounters with other people, these last couple days, I've really appreciated every chance I got to talk with someone. The couple back at the lake, the guy who served me hamburgers in town. It's nice.
First of all, thank you to everyone who gave me a lot of encouragement before going into the Pasayten Wilderness. It meant a lot to take that with me, so thank you. And especially to those of you who are subscribers over on Substack. I'm going to be pushing pretty hard this upcoming week and the following week and all the way until I get done with the Pacific Northwest Trail, because I need to get to the Missouri River and start paddling, because I know that fall is coming and right after that is winter, and I'd really like to be south of the Dakotas before we start getting frost and snow.